Yes guys, you've read that title right. In today's video we're going to be doing a mega Gibson Murphy Lab comparison. We've got Gibson reissues spanning all the way from 1954 to 1960. So today we're going to find out which one is the best. I have to say I'm very excited for this comparison video, so let's leave the studio and head over to the shop to pick up the guitars. Made it to the shop now, so let's head on inside and pick out these awesome Gibson Murphy Lab guitars. Of course, if you'd like to visit our shop here in Stapleford, then make sure to hit the link down below and head over to the Squealing Pig Guitars website. So here we are, we're in the Gibson room. This is still so new to me coming into this shop. It's so awesome to see everything just kind of hung up and on display where it should be. Got some beautiful Les Pauls here. But all the Murphy Labs that we're looking at today actually came in new over the last couple of weeks, so we need to get them out of the rack. So as you can see, we've got an abundance of brown Lifton cases. This one's going to be a fun one. So let's head back to the film room. So we're back in the video room ready to film these beautiful Gibson Custom Shop Murphy Lab reissues. To start off with, we're going to be starting with the 54, the first Les Paul that we have. This was a very primitive form of the Gibson Gold Top. It featured two P90s and a stop tail wraparound bridge. This one also has a natural back and a gorgeous Murphy Lab finish. I really love the attention to detail, like the lacquer checking, the buckle rash, and just the overall kind of green hue that this Gold Top has due to the aging and oxidation stages. So let's see how she sounds. So yeah, what a great start to the episode. A lovely 54 reissue. Really love this guitar. It's got a perfect neck on it. A really cool kind of primitive version of the Les Paul. This really started history. The only model previous to this is the 1952, which has the two P90s, the gold top finish, the same speed knobs, but it has this kind of trapeze tailpiece, but you actually can't palm mute on them guitars. So they've not been reissued very much, and they're not really seen as kind of in the golden era of Gibson, I guess. You can't palm mute on them, they're very hard to play. But this obviously is the 54, so it is, you know, the first playable Les Paul, and it's an incredible guitar indeed. So let's now fast forward to 1956 when we get the addition of the ABR1 bridge. Now moving on the years, we've got the 1956 reissue, also known as the R6. This is still a gold top with two P90s and a natural back, but we have the introduction of the ABR1 Tune-o-matic bridge. This allowed guitar players to have extra control of their tuning, and it improved the intonation of the guitar as you could actually set where the string would come over the bridge. So guitar number 2 time, I've got the Gibson Garage mug, obviously very appropriate for today's video. Something you might notice as we go on with this video is that there seems to be a little bit of inconsistency between the relicking styles. A lot of these guitars are light or ultralight aged, but actually exhibit a lot of lacquer checkings. So for example, the 57 that we have in and the RO are technically light aged guitars, but they have extreme relicking done to the front and lots of lacquer checking and lots of kind of buckle rash on the back. If you get a guitar from about 2021 to early 2022, you can get a lot more value for your Murphy Lab relicking if you're after something that looks heavily aged. Whereas now they seem to be charging a lot more for heavy aged guitars, and the light aged are genuinely light aged guitars. I hope I'm making sense there, but basically in 2021 you could get a light aged guitar that actually had a lot of relicking done to it, and you obviously don't pay as much because it's light aged. So I just wanted to clear that up. This one's an ultra light aged model, and this is very similar to what you would actually see now. So very light lacquer checking, not a lot of stuff on the back. It basically looks like a clean Les Paul, probably from where you're sitting, but as you get closer you can see the lacquer checking all over, but there's no rub down areas and the lacquer is still pretty glossy. So let's hear this beautiful P90 loaded Les Paul. Mistakes in there, but that was completely improvised. I hope you enjoyed that. But yeah, this guitar has a really nice warm and muted sound to it, and that's kind of what I got from this guitar. Obviously, when you get rid of the delay and you put the volume and tone on full, it's a very bright guitar. For the loop, I just wanted to demonstrate a little bit of a different sound that you can get from a P90 guitar, a little bit more of an indie muted sound. So for that, I had that Moog delay on, neck pickup, and I turned the volume down to about 8, and the tone was on about 4, and I used a very heavy kind of muting technique. I just love that delay. So yeah, these P90 loaded Les Pauls are very, very versatile indeed. So let's move over to the first PAF guitar in 57. Now going on to the 1957 reissue, or the R7, we have the introduction of the humbucker, the PAF pickup. So let's check it out. So 1957 brings the introduction of the humbucker, the PAF pickup. So this is our first guitar today with humbuckers. This is a gorgeous 57 reissue gold top, which has this awesome checked finish, but we also have a dark back, which is a must when you're going for a 57, in my opinion. It's the best version of a gold top. Obviously Slash used them. They're incredible looking guitars. So let's hear this PAF's raw. Gold tops are just so snappy, especially with these PAFs. This one has a really raspy, mid-rangey tone. Great if you're in a rock band. They are really good blues guitar as well. Because of that rasp when you're on the neck pickup, you can really dial in that nice... that really nice blues tone where you can get percussive and add all the vibrato. It's a very dynamic guitar. So yeah, awesome gold top.
Now moving on the years, we're into the era of the burst.
These guitars are obviously some of the most expensive and highly regarded guitars of all time. And if you can get a vintage one, well, you must be rich. They cost hundreds of thousands. Lucky for us though, Gibson makes these copies and even ages them for us so we can get a little bit of a taste of what the real bursts are like. A plain top with the sunburst finish, 2 PAF humbuckers, rosewood fingerboard, mahogany back, aniline dies. This is what a 58 looks like. Obviously, one of my favourite 58 players is Slash. Just like all of you guys, I love Slash, and his main guitar is a 58. He uses that neck pickup. It's a very creamy tone. The big thing about the 58s is that you get a massive baseball bat neck on it, so sustains just for days. So let's play a solo that I'm sure all of you will know. So what I love about the 58, obviously it has that beautiful creamy neck pickup tone that it's known for. Obviously nails all the Slash, Eric Clapton, that really bluesy. This guitar has new strings, so sorry for the tuning inaccuracies. But yeah, it has that beautiful, woolly, kind of creamy neck pickup tone that every Les Paul should have, but this one definitely nails. Obviously, we know Slash is a big fan of the 58s for this matter. It's a very simple guitar, but it sounds incredible. What I have noticed on this one as well is that the 58 have slightly narrower frets. I actually really like that spec. It's a vintage correct spec, and for me, with bending, for some reason it makes it just a little bit easier. I don't know why, I couldn't explain to you, but it does have a little bit more narrow frets than your 59 and your 60. So keep that in mind, obviously, if you're buying a 58. But yeah, 58, light age, Murphy Lab, stunning guitar.
Now we're on to the R9. Arguably the best Les Paul ever to be made. This is kind of the one that everyone goes for when they're going to get a Gibson reissue, or if you have the money like Joe Bonamassa, to get the real one.
This is a very, very nice one as well. And it's looking very much like a heritage cherry, so you have a very nice kind of washed out cherry at the top going into a lovely amber. Obviously all the relicking is unique to each guitar. I've got some really nice buckle rash on this example. The lacquer on this one feels, I always call it Easter eggy, but I mean that in a nice way. It has a very kind of textured finish, but as a result of how worn this guitar is, it has a little bit of a satiny type feel. It's still a high gloss lacquer, It's just because of how checked it is. It has that, you don't tend to like stick to the guitar. It has a little bit more of a kind of smooth feel, which is obviously very good for playability. This guitar resonates so well. I feel it obviously resonating against my chest when I'm holding it in my hand. It's a very nice thin finish, and obviously they're using a very kind of pure nitro for this finish. So as you play this guitar, it's going to wear a lot quicker than a normal custom shop guitar, or a normal guitar for that matter that has more plasticizer in. Some other things that I really like about this guitar is obviously these little wear marks that are in. It looks a little bit like a cigarette burn. And this has a really nice dark rosewood fingerboard as well, which you don't see on all of the Gibson custom shop guitars, so it's very nice to see. I've dialed in a bit of a fuzz tone for this one, so let's hear it. So that was the 59, huge tones with that fuzz pedal, and I added a little bit of delay there just to add a little bit of atmosphere. This again feels very similar to the 58, it's just got obviously that slimmer neck style. So when you're choosing between a 58 and a 59, personally, it's all in the neck. You need to try them out. You need to feel what feels best for you, if you like a slimmer neck with the 59, or if you want the really big baseball bat on the 58. Obviously, this guitar has a stunning flame top. Typically, a characteristic of 59s, as I mentioned previously, is that they have highly figured tops, whereas the 58s have less figured tops. That is a generic rule. It's not necessarily the way that people spec out 58s now. You do see 58s with highly flamed tops. But this is a very good example of what a 59 Les Paul should be. Nice kind of rounded neck, great flame top, and obviously a beautiful Murphy Lab finish. So that's the 59. Let's go on one more year to the 1960s. Let's check it out.
And last but not least, we have the RO, also known as the 1960s reissue. There's a few cosmetic changes to the 59, like the knobs that are used. We have the ambered knob, but we have the reflector kind of mirror style on the top. This one also has a tomato soup burst, so it's a lot more red. This was done purposely by Gibson to basically increase the ruggedness of the finish. The 58s and the 59s were known, when they were left in shop windows, to actually bleach from the sun very easily. So the 60s were made to be more red, but also have a bit more of a robust dye that wouldn't be affected as easily. Obviously, we love all them bleached guitars as they turn into lemon burst, but at the time it was seen as a factory flaw. The main differentiating factor between an RO and an R9 is the neck profile. The RO has the slimmest profile out of all the Gibson guitars that we've reviewed in today's episode. This is basically where the slim taper was birthed. It's a very, very small neck for a Les Paul, but it does still feel very nice. So last but not least, let's check out the RO 1960s reissue Les Paul.
So guys, that RO sounds incredible. I have to say, I haven't played many 60s reissues. They don't come into the shop too often, but this one has to be one of the best Les Pauls I've ever played. I really like the smaller neck shape, which I'm quite surprised at, because I'd always pride myself with liking thicker necks, but this one just felt incredible. So definitely watch out for this one. It'll be going on the website soon. Obviously, on the spec sheet it says light aged, but to me this looks like a lot heavier of an aged thanks to this area here. Very unique relicking job. You find in the first year and the second year of the Murphy Lab, they were going a little bit unorthodox with the relicking style. So this is, you know, pretty weird if you ask me, but it does look really cool. I like its unique beauty. Nice dark rosewood fingerboard. It's an RO, and it's obviously got that slightly more tomato soup-like burst. But yeah, I really enjoyed playing this one. So guys, who is the winner of today's video? I'm happy to announce it's the RO, which really surprised me in today's video. In second place is the 57 reissue, which is the PAF dark back gold top. This guitar just had a very unique voice to it, a lot of mid-range, a lot of treble, and it absolutely screamed with lots of fuzz on it. That was a very fun guitar to play. And number 3 is the 54 reissue, which was the P90 loaded stop tailpiece heavy relic. That guitar has a special place in my heart. It's come into the shop a few times, played amazingly. Not as good as the 57 or the RO, just with, obviously they had PAFs and they had a little bit more output and it just fit my playing today a little bit better. But then P90s just sound incredible, and the stop tailpiece really, it's just a different thing. If you've played a stop tailpiece, you'll know how it feels. It's just it's its own thing in its own right. So definitely check out these guitars. But yeah, there's my reviews for today. I'd say all of them guitars are by far a 10 out of 10, but the RO just steals the show for today.
So guys, thank you so much for watching today's video and tuning in to Squealing Pig Guitars. I really hope you've enjoyed today's comparison of all the Gibson Murphy Lab Les Pauls. Let me know in the comment section below which one was your favourite. Also, whilst you're down there, make sure to leave a like on today's video and subscribe if you're new. This really helps us increase engagement and get bigger and better guitars on the channel. But that's all I have to say for today, guys. I really hope you've enjoyed. My name is Ben Keightley, and I'll see you tomorrow for another episode. But until then, keep rocking, guys. I'll see you soon.